Welcome back to the American Dream as we now focus in on your local Boston market. My next guest is Ben Perrotta, a team leader and co-owner of Ben and Kate Real Estate with Keller Williams. Ben, thank you so much for being back on the show.
Thank you again for having me.
So we know, Ben, that the real estate market is crazy right now. There's tons of bidding wars going on, but there's a new thing emerging called a love letter. Tell me a little bit more about this.
Yeah, basically what it is that, in a lot of these houses we're having multiple offers. I mean, some up to 10 or 15 offers on one house. And one thing that buyers are trying to do, it's a tricky little thing, well, not really a tricky little thing, but a cute little thing that they're doing is they're adding in a little letter about themselves and about their family to give to the sellers to potentially, I guess, gain some ground or just get an advantage on other people making an offer on the home. And the letters can get pretty cute. So they've been challenging for us for sure.
How do sellers respond to these letters? Have you had a seller yourself that has received one of these?
Oh yeah, we get them all the time. It depends. I mean, some sellers really like them. Some look at them as an insult. I think the tricky thing is that, again, they get very creative with them. In the day and age of Facebook and social media, your average person can find information that they normally wouldn't have been able to find, and they'll craft these love letters in such a manner to really hit on some of the seller's emotional points that they find out through social media feeds and different things like that. And we get them all the time. And like I said, some sellers love them. Some sellers will make the decision on them, whether they'll accept the offer or not. And some sellers kind of feel insulted by them a little bit.
That's interesting. I feel like these letters could get potentially very entertaining. You said some of your sellers have been insulted by them. Tell me a little bit about a love letter that's gone bad.
Well, actually, one my partner Kate had recently. We had about 10 offers on one house, and a love letter came in, and I mean, this letter was written beautifully. It just knocked my sellers off. They just said, everything being equal, we love their story, we enjoy what they had to say, and we'd like them to own the house. So they chose these people because of this love letter. Well, after about 2 days, these same buyers changed their mind and actually pulled out of the deal. And the funny part about it was we actually had another house where we had multiple offers on it as well. And these same buyers came back and made another offer. But what they did is they used the same exact letter they used for the previous house. They just switched out the names. So at that point, we kind of knew that these guys, even though their letter writing skills are through the roof, they weren't really serious buyers, and it definitely hurt them because they didn't get that house, that's for sure.
That's a good story. If you're representing a buyer, would you ever encourage them to do this?
I think, we've done them in the past. Again, I'd say to the buyer, be sincere about it. No one likes someone to lie about it or puff it up. I mean, if you want to write a little note to the seller, but they can get sometimes elaborate with pictures of the family and the cat and the kids and the dog, and some of that stuff we discourage. I mean, if you're going to write a letter to the seller, just be sincere about it and be responsible, because when a buyer takes a seller's house off the market, in a multiple offer situation, we want to make sure that they're sincere, because the worst thing that can happen for a seller is they take their house off the market when it had a lot of momentum because of a love letter, then a buyer changes their mind. Trying to sell it the second time around is hard. So we try to let the buyers know that, listen, if you're going to write a letter, make it sincere, make it honest, and we'll see what we can do with it.
And be authentic. And
be authentic.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. Well, Ben, I want to talk to you a little bit about a listing of yours that I think potentially might get a lot of love letters. This is a beautiful historic home, 233 Washington Street in historic Hanover. Tell me a little bit more about this property.
Yeah, the original Matthew Stetson homestead, located in historic Hanover Four Corners. This area of Hanover is very desirable. It's a great spot in town. The house itself is just beautiful. It's been renovated in a way that it keeps the antique charm, but also adds some modern amenities. In fact, the kitchen remodel was actually featured in a magazine, a local lifestyle magazine, because of how good it was done. The outside is excellent, has a gunite saltwater pool, one of the best pool outside setups that I've ever seen in my 20 years of selling real estate.
Wow, and it's $899,900.
$899,900. 233 Washington Street in Hanover, a beautiful home.
Fantastic. Well, Ben, great to have you on The American Dream as always.
Thank you very much. I look forward to doing it again.
And we'll be right back with more of the show.